we have somebody on Pure Country today who I feel like when we did an interview last time, I pretended like you were just some other country artist that I was interviewing. But for anybody who doesn't know, this is also my husband, Steven Lee Olsen. So welcome to Pure Country.
Hey, honey, how you doing?
I'm good. So I was like, where do I set up in the house? And then I thought, since I'm interviewing you, I might as well set up in front of your massive collection of guitars. And
You're literally seeing why my wife won't let me have another guitar. She's gonna use this against me.
yes, this is proof. So this studio is pretty cool because when we moved into this house, this was the first room we kind of put together and you did it all yourself, building this really cool accent wall and stuff. But this is kind of where you created all of this music that is out now on the Relationship Goals EP.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you got to see it firsthand. What boredom can do during COVID. I can actually get stuff done. The thing that I didn't anticipate is how much stuff I had to buy. Do you remember how much stuff I had to buy just to put up the wall? I think we got an air compressor, an air gun. Like it was, I swear the stuff it took to make the wall was more expensive than the wall itself.
Yeah, but now you have all this stuff that you can build us really cool things, including our son's nursery that you created, which is incredible.
Thank you.
So I was a little concerned when we got engaged in March because it was like after we got engaged, you started writing all these breakup songs. And I was like, this is not a good thing. Should I be worried? But one of those ones, which I feel like I had a bit of a bad taste in my mouth because of it. Now I love this song was You Tell Me, because you wrote it like 3 days after. And I was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. But that song has kind of a cool story because originally it wasn't going to be a song you were going to release, but you always had kind of this feeling like this one's got to be mine. So what happened with You Tell Me?
Yeah, I do remember you hearing that song before anybody, and I didn't quite get the reaction out of you that I wanted first listen because of what you just said. It was a breakup song, but yeah, I mean that song, I swear, was such a gift, and it did. We went through an emotional roller coaster with that one. There was a few different artists after we wrote that I pitched it to. Charles Kelly being one of them, of Lady A, and Keith Urban, and both of them wanted it. And I remember me telling you, just coming to you, going, "Holy crap, Abe! Like Keith wants it and Charles wants it. Charles wanted it first, so I have to tell Charles that, hey, Keith is kind of my homie. I'm like, first dibs." So Charles was like, yeah, absolutely. KU wins. He's like, I hope you didn't bump one of the songs that I wrote on that record. And I was like, oh man, who knows? So Keith went and recorded that song and called me into the studio for it, which was such a good sign. He's, as you know, he's extremely responsive when it comes to sending him songs. He's a gift
For
to
sure.
me.
And side note, you just text Keith Urban songs, which I feel like you might think is totally normal, but I still can't get over that. You'll be like, I'm just going to send him this one too. So that's how it happened, was you texted it to him.
Yeah, I totally don't think it's normal, but I try and pretend like it is just to keep my fangirl down a little bit. But yeah, when I texted it to him, he was instant. He was like, now that's a song, Slow. And I was like, when he responds like that, it was crazy. He asked for all the tracks that we built for the demo, brought it into the studio, called me into the studio. I got to go and hang out there and hear this song get tracked, and then he sent it to me when it was done, mixed. And I don't think I've ever cried so hard, maybe when our son was born, but like it just sounded insane. Having Keith sing one of your songs and having it on your phone and knowing no one else has it in the world is a crazy feeling. I wore it out, and we were about to go into the studio to record a lot of these songs that came out on this Relationship Goals EP, and I Hail Married texted Keith and was like, hey, are you sure you want to cut You Tell Me? I'm going into the studio, and if you don't want it, if there's any chance, I was like, I'm gonna record it. And he hit me back immediately. He goes, no, this is a slow song. This is your song. And we ended up recording it, which I'm so happy because it always really did feel like more so than that maybe any song I've had be cut. This one felt like it always should have been mine, and I was never quite settled with the fact that I wasn't going to be putting it out. So when it worked out like that, it was incredible, and it's now one of my favorite songs on that EP.
It actually is one of my favorites too. And it's not that it's not a great song. It's just, I obviously resonate more with the songs that you sing about love, because I obviously love you. And
Jennifer Aniston. If I bring up Jennifer Aniston in this song, you're like, ooh, that's a good one. Let's that one.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I may have influenced the Friends Jennifer Aniston reference in the song. So we'll segue into relationship goals, because that song was cool. I actually remember when you guys wrote it, I was in the kitchen making lunch for you and Brandon Day, who are in our garage at the time writing it. And I just remember hearing the melody of it and being like, this is a jam. So I was not surprised when it ended up being the name of the EP and the first song that came out. And the coolest thing is that I actually got to be on set for the video and watch the music video come together. And the couple that is in the video, Briley and Jaden, they actually are a couple, thanks to you, Mr. Matchmaker.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, we couldn't have written that story better ourselves. I mean, watching that, making the video was so much fun to begin with, just because I got to drive that cool car, or pretend to drive that cool car, and I got to, you know, jump into a pool with all of my clothes on. But aside from all that, I think it was so cool watching their love unfold like on camera. And then I remember the next day, Taylor, our director, called me and said, you know that they are actually going on a date tonight. And I was like, what? No way. And then they fell in love, and then they made it official. And the last time I played in Nashville, they showed up, both of them together, and I played Relationship Goals, and I dedicated it to them.
I actually didn't know that. Funny enough that we live in the
I didn't even tell you that, huh? Yeah.
They were there.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, they were both there. I shouted them out, and they're a cute couple. Super
cute. I feel, I mean, slightly responsible, because when they were in the pool doing the very romantic scene, I jokingly was like, hey, Steven and I met on like an interview on set being filmed, so watch out, it could happen. And then I found it pretty funny that they actually are together. So I love that. And that song, I feel like, is so fun. Are you dying to get to play it live for people eventually?
Yes, that one, just, you know, like that one just it moves. I swear it, every time I hear it, it sounds like the tempo is faster. And I'm like, man, I don't know how I sang it that fast and stayed in the pocket. But that one live is just going to be a ton of fun. And it's been the toughest part about all of these songs is not getting to play them live yet with a full band, and just to, you know, build these out and build up the show. And I'm so pumped to do that. Who knows when that's going to be? Hopefully sooner than later. But you know, I'm ready.
I do. I was just going to say, for anybody wondering if his live show is going to be exciting, I get to watch it literally go around our house, through our living room, our kitchen, performing the songs. So I'm like, once you guys
with a spatula, I'm like making some sketty, and I'm like, I've been thinking about you in that back row.
It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. His dance moves, you guys better be ready.
The world ain't ready for my dance moves. Baby.
I don't know. And I have to ask, just because I want to just be sure that, like, you know, seeing as you wrote breakup songs after we got engaged, the Relationship Goals, Think About You, they were inspired by me, right?
Definitely. Any song ever that is positive and about love, all you. And anyone that is like about breakups, past exes. That
cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I will admit, when I interviewed you the first time, I knew your music, like Raised by a Good Time, all, you know, songs from back then. I didn't know you or who you were at all. So for anyone, you know, not knowing that Raised by a Good Time, Hello Country also wrote Blue Ain't Your Color for Keith Urban. Obviously you've had a lot of things happen in the past that have been really big and successful. But what feels different for you with this batch of songs? And it's kind of like the most you music I feel like you've ever released.
You just nailed it on the head. I think, you know, you getting to see us put all of this together, you get such a, you know, first, I guess, a first look at what my brain does and how we've kind of shaped this music. You know, I think past releases, I've kind of danced around a lot of different parts of who I am as an artist, but never has it been finite. Never has it been like confidently in one direction and it's just a freight train. And I think these songs really represent exactly where we landed and where I wanted to land and say the things how I wanted to say it. And sonically, it dances between all my favorite parts about the genre. You know, it's the pendulum. It's so country, and then it's so pop on one side, and it's like finding my mix of my lane has just been so fun, and it's really made the writing process incredible because I'm starting with a canvas now. It's like before I didn't really know where or what I was doing. It's just wherever it landed. Now I'm like, we have a very finite canvas and a team that, you know, has changed my life. The label Universal Canada and as well the core. I'm like, it's everything goes through so many talented people, so many giants, and like just the best in the industry, that it's just really helped me shape who I am. And it's really made me confident as an artist more so than a writer, which has kind of helped me put this body of music together.
And there's so much more to come that is so good, let me tell you.
There's a lot.
Okay, before I ask you the last question, I just have something I have to grab quickly.
It's over? This is it already?
Not yet.
Oh, look at that Christmas tree pillow. She's in the spirit, y'all. I'm scared to see what Lincoln's gonna look like at Christmas time. He's gonna be wrapped up in a big bow, wrapping paper. Oh, my buddy. Oh, you didn't. You did it. Hi, buddy.
I didn't. Your mom did.
Bear.
That's why his hair looks like yours right now. But while we finish the interview, I figured he could join us, seeing as I feel like
that's my bear.
Music you're writing now is probably going to be inspired by this little guy. So, Lincoln, this daddy.
Hi, Bubba.
I also wanted to say, I feel like you have kind of changed as far as like what your focus is musically and as a performer and stuff like that. But what do you feel like with him being in your life now has kind of changed your focus musically and stuff? Like, do you feel like a totally different person than you did 10 years ago when you were writing and stuff?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Everything matters more now. Everything is intentional. I've never had the scope of time like I do now. You know, It's like just being a dad for 11 months. He's going to be, that's my bear right there. That's what I'm talking about. You got to have a little puke on you.
I could not have made that more perfect.
I know, that's my bear right there. It's like you showing up, he parties. But yeah, I think having the scope of music now that I do, it's like knowing what a year is and how many songs that is and what I want to say, I kind of run it through. I'm like, man, when he's 18, honey, is he going to think I'm cool? Or is he going to go, oh my God, Dad, you wore skinny jeans? I don't know, but I can tell you that I think about it during the process. I think about it during my, when I'm building out my live show, I'm like, I just really want it to matter for him. Yeah. And I just want him to see and really know that anything is possible. Like I want him to have that at an early age. And if I can represent that, then I feel like I'm doing my job.
He definitely thinks you're cool. This is his favorite room in the entire house and the only place he actually calms down. So he's got the music plug. Well, thank you so much, Steven Lee Olsen, for joining us on Pure Country. And hopefully we all get to hear you play all this music live soon, because I am dying to see you play on the stage.
Oh, me too. Me too. Thanks, baby.